Hello, welcome everyone. Today in this video I'm going to introduce you to functions in C++. What you need to know what a function is, it is just a block of code which runs when it's called. It comprises of different statements like which are to execute some tasks. So you can pass data into the as known as parameters in a function. Given an example over here, this is a function of which our function name is addition and the parameters a and b of which are all of data type integer. This is a syntax of how you can declare a function. Return data type, function name, and then the parameters. So it's literally up here. Our return data type is integer, our function name is addition, and our parameters, it is int a and b. So let's get to the practical and we'll see how everything goes. Over here, I wrote you a source code which will help us to understand literally what functions are. After including the header files, you come over here. I declared two functions, void line and message. These functions are of void return data type. That means they return nothing, they just display, and their parameters are void too. They take in nothing, they are only just to display. So if you enter in the main, you can see how the program is working. It will just display hello, the program starts in main, and then we call this function. How do we call the function? You just write the function name and then the parameters, but you realize in this function we don't have any parameter, so it's just only called by this way. And then when we call this function, we just move to its function definition. We see what the function holds. Now our function definition is void line. You get it? So void line, what is in the line? It will display this line. And void message, when you void message contains in the function message, you see. So this one, the declaration comes before the int main, and that's why we're ending with a semicolon. Let me run it and you see what we shall be saying. Let's run it. You see, hello, the program starts in here. The line function is called, it displays the line, and from there we have the message function being called. The message function displays in function message. Let's see what is having in function message, and from there again the line function is called. Then we end the program with our cout over here, cout at the end of the main. So let's make our own function and we'll be happy. Let's think of making a function which will get the summation of two variables. So let's say hash include string, and we say using namespace std. And now the protocol of writing the function, declaring the function, will be the return data type, and since we are going to be adding two integers, it will be int. And then let's think of summation, because if we think of like sum, it is a keyword in the language which is not required, so we have to say summation, and then we have to pass two integer values. You get it? So we can say like int a comma int b. Don't dare make any mistake, you just pass without putting the data type, because you need to declare to put the data type to know what is gonna deal with, unless your program will not run. So when you enter in, we have to declare one variable which will help us to get the result. So we can say int c, right? And then we say c is equal to a plus b. Then we return c. So when the function will be called, it will return C. You get it? So after this function, now let's go in our int main. We say int main, our main function. And now in our main function, what we are gonna deal with is just to put whatever we want, and then whenever we want to make maybe addition of the two variables, we are gonna call the function. So let's declare two variables like x and y, and then from there we have to say something to the user like cout enter. We have to say like enter the values to add. You get it? And line. And so we have to say something like we have to put in something after asking the user. So we have to say cin, we say x and y. So after putting x and y, the user will be expecting the return. Maybe if I put 1 and 2, you'll be expecting 3, and that's what we're gonna do now. So what we have to do is to call now the function to help us to get us the summation of the two numbers. And then function calling, when you're calling a function, you don't need to put the return data type, and if you put it, the function, I guarantee it is not gonna work, your program. So what you have to do now, we have just to only put the function name, and then we put the parameters. And while putting the parameters, you need not to put the data type because it's not allowed. So the protocol will be summation, and then we open the parentheses, just we put x comma y. The reason, and then you have to end with the semicolon. The reason why we're not putting a and b, remember this function calling will there's something we're gonna discuss in the next coming videos as the thing of it's called the call function, the parameters, like call by value and call by reference. So these values are going to be exchanged from the formal to the formal values and the actual values. Here we are having the actual values, and these are the formal values. So the formatting, everything, we're going to get it in the next coming videos. And so after calling this function over here, it will we need to do something like to display the result, right? So we have to say cout, and after saying cout, we have to say summation. We have to say summation. Yeah, we have to say summation, and then summation, you have to put the parentheses. You have just only to put these functions like you're calling it, right? You're calling it. So we have to say x comma y, and there you go. We have to end the line, we put the semicolon, and then we have to terminate the program normally. So then let's save our program. Let's compile. I think everyone is happy with no errors over here, down and warning. So we have to run it. Yeah, so let's enter. Let's say like 1, enter 2, and our final answer is 3. I think everyone is happy. Before we go any further, I think this is the best to first get some practice. Maybe you can make a function which does any other thing, maybe like multiplication, or you can make 2 more functions for your best practice, maybe to get use of the functions. Just like the video if it is of any help to you, and we'll meet in other videos soon. Thanks for watching.